Good morning, everybody. This is my first time going live. And so I am so excited that you are joining me here. And if you're listening to the replay, put in the chat or in the comments section hashtag replay. So, as you see, the title says How One Conversation Saved My Marriage. So, I'm going to just jump right into it. When I was married, probably about my seventh year, I put one particular day I was at the beauty salon, and just my time with the beauty salon lady was my stylist rather was really a time to just relax, and we had great conversation about things that were going on. And this particular time, I was upset about something. And so I remember just complaining and declaring to her that, hey, he's not helping me around the house. I'm mad, I'm disappointed, and I want a divorce. And she began to ask me some questions, about um, does he is he a drink or do drugs? Does he drink in excess, do drugs? And I said, no, he doesn't do any of that. And she said, well, is he a womanizer? Does he have affairs and everything on you? And I said, no, he doesn't do any of that. And so she asked me the last question. She said, well, does he abuse you physically or emotionally? And I said, no, he doesn't do any of that. That would be a different conversation if that was going on. But I explained to her he doesn't help me around the house. And so she said, well, things could be worse. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that uh, a lot of things, a lot of different things, those are not the only things that could, make a bad marriage, in your opinion. But those are the questions that she asked me that stood out in her mind. And so that's what we're talking about today. So, him not helping me around the house, and I gave her an example of these socks, the dreaded socks, that he would throw them in the direction of the hamper, but if they didn't land in the hamper, he still wouldn't get up and put them in the hamper. So he could throw socks or whatever it is over in the direction of the hamper and still, see that he didn't make it and then just leave them there. And I know now that what I interpreted those actions as was an appreciation, a disregard for my feelings, uh, maybe not even not feeling loved. Like I think that was just a withdrawal from the love bank account because I couldn't understand how he could see that they were there and not want to help me and pick them up. And so that's the way I took it in my mind, is that he doesn't love me, he doesn't want to help me. Because my love language is, have you guessed it? Acts of service. That's the way I show my love. And so that's the way I interpret love being shown to me. Well, I know now. I didn't know what my love language was back then, but I know now what the love languages are. And I know what his love language is. And his love language is, his main one is gifts. What is it called? Giving gifts. Anyway, let me go back to the story. So, as I began to defend my husband from these other things that she said, I just said, no, he doesn't do any of those things, but he won't help me around the house. And it just bothers me to no end. I made a decision that day that I could think about things differently, because it did bring to my mind the perspective of there are a lot of other things that could be going on. And if you look at this positively, you could be grateful that the things she asked you are not happening, because they are happening for someone. So I went home and I thought about it, and I tried to focus on the positives. Now, the next conversation that added onto this was a different hairdresser, a different stylist at a different time. I was doing the same thing. And this is maybe a few years later, but this particular stylist, she had been married at that time, probably 45 years or so, something like that. And as I'm complaining and saying I want a divorce again, she gave me the same perspective. She didn't ask me the same questions, but she gave me the same perspective that, uh, oh, those are minor things. And she didn't really say it like that, what I was complaining about was a minor thing. But what she did say was, she said, oh, my husband does the same thing. And she just kind of said it haphazardly, oh, he does the same thing. And I thought, oh my goodness. And you've been married 45 years? And she said, yeah, I don't worry about that. She said, I just do what I'm going to do. I clean it up if I'm going to clean it up. If not, I don't worry about it. She said, well, I do what I can do, and I let the other uh, just wait until I can get to it. And I thought, oh, that gives me hope. She's been married 45 years. I don't have to get a divorce behind this. Okay. So what do I do? What do I do in order to get past this? So with prayer, a lot of prayer, and some affirmations on building myself up, I was able to think about it in a different way. And so I just began to remind myself of the positives about my husband. He's a great guy, and he doesn't do any of those things I mentioned earlier. He doesn't drink in excess, doesn't do drugs, doesn't run women, and really, really shows his affection towards me in other ways. And so I just thought, oh, and let me go back. He's a great dad. Oh my goodness. He's always active with our children, even my daughter that I brought to the relationship. Uh, Always thinking of them. What can he do to make their life better? Um, just a great person overall. Always giving to our friends and neighbors, trying to be helpful. So I thought, oh my goodness, I'm gonna leave a great person because of socks. Now, don't get me wrong, those socks and shoes and other things are the bane of my existence, but they aren't, in my opinion, strong enough for me to get a divorce. So, me changing my perspective on those things allowed me just to move forward and change my perspective on a lot of things. So, that one positive um, thought actually blossomed and grew into something much bigger. So 37 years later, if the Lord lets us see till January the 26th, we'll celebrate 38 years of marriage. So why am I telling you this? I am speaking to the woman who may feel that her marriage isn't measuring up to what she sees on TV, social media, her friends. And what I say to that is, we are only seeing the highlights of what people put on social media. They're not going to put that they had an argument about this, that, and the other on social media. They're going to share the positives. And so that's what we see. And so we can easily think that, oh, because I only see that that's what's going on. Now, let's talk about television. The Real Housewives of wherever, whatever wives shows there are. Those are scripted, and they are scripted to get people to watch the show. And so all of the foolery that goes on with those shows are not realistic either. And so what my desire to do is in putting together a community of wives to support each other is to be to you what those women were to me in those early years. Someone who spoke life into me and spoke life into my marriage. So my desire is to have a community of women to come alongside wives who are thinking of throwing in the towel. They're just saying, I can't make it. And we want to say, yes, you can. Or to just think of the perspective of, how can I? Now, we don't uh, uh, go along with any type of abuse, but we want to make sure that we're clear about what you're calling abuse too. Because I could just think, oh, he's being abusive because he's not taking care of my needs or whatever. So we want to make sure that we're not talking about that type of thing. But if there is actual physical or mental abuse, we always say, get to safety, get to a place where you really can think about that and get some help for the individual, and possibly, with prayer and a person's desire to change, you can still move forward in your marriage. But from the other side of it, if there's no abuse or anything, we want to encourage you to, in an analogy of, say, a sports person, a person who plays sports, to leave it all on the field. That really be intentional about working on your marriage. There are some strategies and some ways that you can do that. And to just encourage you to do the best that you can do. And like I said, being intentional with investing the time and energy into your marriage. Because lots of women have done it, and you can too. I guess lastly, what I'd like to say, and I should have written this down. As I said, this is my first one, so I'm so excited. I just wanted to come in here and talk. But next time I will have a script. Should you do the best that you can do and things still don't work out, you still would know and not have regret in your mind later on that I didn't do all I could do. So we know that those things happen. The Lord doesn't want them to happen. We don't want that for you, because I really do feel like that marriage is a great thing. I'm a believer. So for the people of God, God designed marriage, right? And it provides a lot of things for the couple. You have your own built-in prayer partner. You can pray together for things and accomplish things, but together you can pool your resources and provide a safe haven if you have children, provide a legacy for your family as far as financially. And you may not feel like it, but your marriage really helps out the whole community. Anybody in your sphere who sees you two together working it out and moving forward in your life, it is helpful to the people who are around you for encouragement and a number of other things. So I'm not going to hold you long with this today. I'll finish off here and just say, I help married wives. Well, that's the only way you'll be a wife. I help married women create happy and healthy marriages. If you need anything, you need prayer, want to reach out and have a conversation, reach out to me on and by the way, I forgot to tell you, I can't get off without telling you, I am having a master class where we're going to spend about an hour together. It's going to be highly interactive, where we'll play games and talk and get to know each other a little better. But that is on October the 6th at 6 p.m. Central Time. And you can go to masterclass.lucillereddick.com for that. The link is also in all of my social media spots. So until next time, keep being amazing. Oh, here it is. Keep being amazing.